Hey guys, my name is Jonathan Henderson with Pressure Washing Marketing Pros. In today's video, I'm going to go ahead and talk about 3 ways that you can go ahead and have your pressure washing business thrive during a recession, right? Because these 3 things, I think, are going to go ahead and change your perspective about an incoming recession. Because a lot of people get scared of that. They know that prices are going up. They know that demand is going down, right? And so they say, man, you know, what's going to end up happening with my business? So if you maximize these 3 things, then I think that your business will be able to thrive during a recession. So let's go ahead and start with the first point is you need to push harder whenever this recession hits. If we're already in one right now, which a lot of people believe that we are in one right now, but you need to go ahead and push harder because we know costs are going up. We know there's inflation. We know gas prices are going up. We know that bleach prices are going up, right? But you know what ends up happening? Winners and people that turn out to be better after the recession, winners turn this into an opportunity at that point, right? Which you want to turn this into an opportunity. Because guess what people end up doing? What's the first thing that they end up cutting off whenever prices start to get a little bit iffy? They turn off their marketing, because usually marketing is the thing that you tangibly see, that you say, you know what, I'm still getting jobs, but I'm seeing this, you know, $1,000 or $1,500 coming out from Google every single month. So instead of trying to be more aggressive and getting more jobs, a lot of guys just go ahead and cut off their lifeline. You don't need to cut off your lifeline of marketing, because you know what smart business owners end up doing? They end up doubling down when they see their competition pulling back. Right? When they see their competition pulling back, they go ahead and charge harder. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to end up getting more market share. So by the time that the recession ends and you are here and you're like, well, I'm trying to save $2,000 a month on my advertising, and your business isn't growing, that person has even more market share in your, in your area now. Because you stopped marketing, they went more aggressive. And guess what? It's just like the stock market, crypto market, real estate market. What ends up happening is when prices are really low or people invested, they say things like, oh man, I need to save my money. I don't need to go ahead and pull the trigger on this. And then guys, whenever prices are falling, whenever Bitcoin's going to zero, whatever it may be, what do those guys do? They charge even harder. They put even more money in. So when the prices go back up, they bought at such a good price that now they're sitting lavishly. And it's just like marketing. It's just like when the recession hits. A lot of guys are gonna be like, oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off this lifeline in my business. And guess what those smart business owners are gonna do? Like I said, the winners turn it into an opportunity. The smart businesses, they double down when they see the competition pulling back. So they're gonna even double down even more. They're gonna be taking some of your customers. They're gonna be taking some of your guys' clients in that sense, right? Because they're hard charging and they're marketing. Then after the recession hits and money starts flowing back in, everybody's got jobs now, and the economy's where it needs to be at, guess what? That business that was still humming, being aggressive during the recession, they do even better in that time, because guess what? They captured more of that market share that you didn't capture because you stopped marketing, you stopped being aggressive with your marketing, and you went to cut cost. So you need to push harder. When the recession hits, a lot of people say, well, people don't want my services. People aren't looking for this. That may be so. People may not be looking for it as much, but that shouldn't stop you from going ahead and pushing harder and trying to extract as much as you can, right? And learning your market, which is going to be my second point, is to be adaptable, right? You need to be adaptable in that sense, because one big thing that I hear this year, right? This year in 2022, especially in the summertime, is I hear a lot of guys say, man, last summer, it just seemed to be a lot more busy. You know what I mean? And you're probably right. It probably was a little bit more busy last summer, because guess what? The government was printing money. Everybody was getting dollar bills. Everybody was getting $1,500. Everybody was getting $1,600. Crypto was going up. Stock was going up. Car prices were very high. People were selling their cars at a high rate. Everything was going up. You could have made so much money in 2020 and 2021 because everything, like I said, the government was printing money, and guess what? For home service businesses, people were staying home. People were on lockdown. People couldn't travel to certain places. People were home a lot more. So since people were home a lot more in that sense, guess what ended up happening, right? Guess what ended up happening when people were at home more? They saw every nook and cranny. So of course they're gonna call you as a pressure washing business owner. But this year in the summertime, guess what ended up happening at that point? People are traveling. People are like getting taking the kids on trips. They're doing a lot of different things. People aren't as home as much. They're back in their offices. So they're not spending as much time at home like they were the past 2 years. So yes, things may be a little bit slower, but you need to be adaptable in your business. You know what I mean? Because, for example, I'm gonna give you guys an example of a client that I have. right? When it comes to Google Ads, you know, maybe you need to change your pricing. You don't need to be the $99 guy, but let me give you an example of a client that I have, right? So running Google Ads for this client in that sense. You know, and this client, he's one of those top tier businesses in his area, but at the same time, he's a growing business. So he's not the top business, but he's trying to get there, and I think he will get there. You know, you may know who I'm talking about. You may know who you are, right? But he's trying to get there in that sense. But what ends up happening is that we'll bring him from Google Ads leads, and guess what he'll end up saying? He'll end up saying things like, you know what, Jonathan, this isn't my right type of customer in this sense, right? This is my right type of customer at this sense. So they just literally just cut off that person. Well, in a recession, you don't necessarily want to do that. You want to get any and every kind of job that you can feasibly, but right? You want to get any kind of job that you can feasibly, but you may have to be adaptable. You may need to change your sales process in order to acquire those type of customers, because what's going to end up happening? You're just going to spend your money. What I tell a lot of guys, especially because I'm going to have a video on the differences between Google Ads leads and SEO leads in that sense. But like I said, you know, if you're running Google Ads in that sense and you have such a high price point and you're not adaptable and your sales process is just this, when a person calls and they say, hey, I need my deck and patio cleaned, and you're like, well, that's going to cost you $500, right? Well, Jonathan, I have a lot of clients, you know, well, let me back up. You know, you get a call that's for a deck and patio cleaning, you say that's going to be $500, and that person says, oh, let me call you back, right? We know that person's not going to call you back because they're going to find somebody that's cheaper in that sense, right? But what you should have done is you should have been adaptable. You should have your sales process, because you should know that for a Google Ads lead, they don't know you from Adam, right? They don't know your business. They're just looking for convenience. They're looking for a service immediately in that sense, right? You've never marketed to that person before except for that Google ad, so they don't know what separates and differentiates your business from the other business. So when you're charging such a high price like that, in the sense of, you know, which could be a good price, you have to be able to show value and explain value. So you might have to adapt your business. Instead of just doing over the phone quotes, you might have to do in-person quotes at that point, right? So you have to be adaptable with your business. You need to systemize your sales process, right? So you may need to systemize things like I just told you with that. You may need to implement more training in your business. Get your guys to work faster. You know, some guys don't even have route optimization. So they're wasting gas money, so you need to adapt your business. You need to adapt it at that point. Certain things that you're accustomed to doing in the past, you need to change, right? So like I said, some guys don't even have route optimization in that sense. And you know, that's important in your business. You need to do more training. You need to implement more systems, because maybe your team can get done with jobs a lot faster, right? With better training in that sense. So like I said, the second point is to be more adaptable. You don't just have to adapt your pricing, you can adapt your systems. You can adapt your mindset in that sense, right? To go ahead and do that. Now, my last point, my third and final point is set an example and have a plan. Because like I said, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail at that point, right? We all know that. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. And especially for you guys that have employees, you know, just like myself in that sense, for especially a lot of you guys that have employees, you know, you may see morale go down, but you know what? You as a business owner have to carry all of that weight. It's something that we all go ahead and that we know that we have to take that on in that sense. We know it's our responsibility as business owners to go ahead and provide for our team, that provide for our business, and we have to provide for our customers. And so that can be a lot of weight on your shoulders. I feel it every day. But guess what? Because a lot of guys get scared of, you know, they're like, man, I might lose this guy because of the recession with this. We may not be able to pay him in that sense. Well, guess what? That should be a symptom. That should be a sign that you need to go ahead and make a plan and make that apparent and transparent to the people on your team, right? Make that transparent to the people on your team. Train them more. Give them a plan. Hustle harder. Take away their stress and their anxiety, because even in their shoes as well, they're worried about it. They're worried about if you're going to bring enough jobs as a business owner so that they can have a job, right? So it's up to you. You took the responsibility as a business owner. So you need to have a plan in action. You need to have a course of plan in action. If you just don't have a plan and you're going to wing it and you're just going to go into a recession and just wing it like that, then you're going to fail. So you need to set an example. You need to have a plan. You need to be transparent. You know what I mean? You need to be transparent with your team. Tell them what direction you're going, because guess what? That's going to elicit loyalty out of your employees in that sense. They're going to be very loyal to you. They're going to know that they have a plan. They know that they're not in the dark. with certain things, and guess what? They're gonna try to work through every single problem in your business. And like I said, this starting to find a point, set an example, and have a plan is especially for my guys that have employees. But even if you don't have employees, have a plan, right? Have a plan and say, you know what, I'm gonna market like this. Because guess what can end up happening for you guys that don't have employees during a recession? You can get employees, because a lot of people are gonna get laid off. So instead of them getting these kind of like, unemployment benefits, instead of them getting these high-paying construction jobs where these guys are paying them like $25 an hour, $30 an hour to come work for them because money was printing all last year in 2021 and 2020, guess what's gonna end up happening when recession hits? They're gonna tell those guys, hey man, we gotta drop at least half of you guys, right? And guess what those guys will do? Those guys at that point are gonna come run into your business. So you have to have a plan, you have to have a course of action, you have to be prepared, right? Because like I said, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. So with that being said, like I said, number one, you need to push harder in your marketing. You know what I mean? Smart businesses double down when they see their competition pulling back, right? As you know, winners turn a recession into an opportunity, right? In all facets of life, whether, like I said, in all investments, whatever it may be, be adaptable in that sense. Be adaptable and, be willing to change the structure of your business and how you do things. Don't become rigid. Be adaptable, go with the flow, know what you need to change. A lot of guys aren't adaptable, and that's gonna kill them during a recession. Because like I said, you need to be adaptable in your business so that you can tackle solutions, or you can tackle problems with a proper solution. And like I said, it segues me over to set an example and have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, what, Jonathan? You plan to fail at that point, right? So you need to have a plan at that point, and you need to be transparent in that plan, especially if you have employees, because that's gonna galvanize them. That's gonna get them to work harder. That's gonna get them, to know that, okay, we have a boss that's gonna take us through this storm. He's very transparent. This is where we're going. And they're gonna be able to work with you through those hard times as well. And like I said, even if you don't have any employees and you have a plan, a course of action, that's gonna give you confidence. It's gonna give you confidence to say, you know what, I'm gonna execute this plan, and I know this plan is gonna yield me the results that I want, right? And so even if you don't, even if you're one man up and you have a plan in that sense, you can even plan to hire more employees, market more, whatever it may be. So those are the 3 things, guys. Hopefully this video provided you guys value. If you need help with your marketing, go ahead and click the description below, and go ahead and click the link to schedule a free strategy session with us. I'd love to talk to you guys about your online presence, anything about marketing, anything about growing your guys' business. As you guys know, I work with over 50 exterior cleaning businesses, and I'm a part owner of a junk removal business as well. So I can definitely relate to you guys when it comes to a lot of that stuff about marketing and hiring and doing all of that. So like I said, if you guys have any questions or concerns, please go ahead and book a call, and I'd love to talk to you guys. But other than that though, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope this provided you value, and I'll see you in the next video.